I've spent a lot of time talking about the financial side of retirement. Pensions, investments, healthcare, social security, budgets, withdrawal rates, and honestly, those things matter. A lot. But lately I've been thinking about something else. How do you actually finish well? Because retirement isn't just a date, it's a transition. And I've started noticing something. There seems to be two very different approaches people take during their final working years. One group seems to slowly detach. Quiet quitting is what they seem to call it, doing the minimum, emotionally checking out years before retirement actually arrives. A lot of people almost brag about it. They're standing around, how can I do as little as possible? How much time can I burn? How early can I mentally leave this job? And look, I understand some of it. People get tired, they get burned out, they get frustrated. Sometimes they're unappreciated. Sometimes work has taken too much from them already. I understand that. But that's not for me because I keep coming back to this question. How do I want to finish? Not perfectly, not killing myself for a job, not pretending work should consume my whole identity either, but still with integrity, with perspective, with gratitude, maybe even mentoring people behind me, maybe helping others more than competing with them now. I think there's a difference between protecting your peace and abandoning your purpose. So maybe part of aging well for me is learning how to transition wisely without emotionally disappearing before you actually leave. Because eventually all of us realize work can't save us, not the title, not the paycheck, not the position, not the status. And that title, it fades, that career ends, all those emails, they stop. Somebody eventually takes over our office and life keeps moving. And maybe retirement isn't the only transition that forces people to wrestle with these questions. Because sometimes people leave because they found another opportunity. Sometimes they finally sit down with their boss and say, I'm moving on. Sometimes leadership changes, roles changes, priorities change. And suddenly, the job they once loved doesn't feel the same anymore. Sometimes people get transferred into positions they never expected, positions they may not even want, positions that feel uncertain, uncomfortable, or disappointing. And honestly, those moments can feel a little like retirement too. Suddenly, you're forced to ask, who am I in this new season? Can I adapt? Do I embrace this transition? Do I resent it? Do I slowly detach emotionally, or do I stay and try to finish well, even when the future feels uncertain? Because I think a lot of people experience some version of this long before retirement even happens. The realization this chapter is changing. And sometimes change feels exciting, sometimes it feels freeing, and sometimes it feels like loss. Because transitions, even good ones, still involve letting go of something, a title, a routine, a sense of certainty, a version of yourself you've carried for decades. And maybe that's why retirement feels so emotional for so many people, because beneath all the financial questions, there are deeper ones. Who am I without the title? What matters now? What is enough? What do I actually want life to look like? And maybe the biggest question, what am I retiring to? Not just from. Because the experts keep saying the happiest retirees are usually retiring to something meaningful, purpose, family, health, travel, faith, community. They have flexibility, relationships, not simply escaping a job. And honestly, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. How do you prepare financially while also preparing emotionally for the next season of life? How do you leave well without slowly becoming a ghost at work first? How do you protect your health without emotionally checking out years early? How do you finish strong while still saving enough energy to actually enjoy retirement? Because maybe finishing strong doesn't mean working harder than ever. Maybe it means finishing with character, with wisdom, with perspective, with relationships intact, with enough energy left to actually live the life you spent decades trying to build it. I think that's the transition I'm trying to learn right now.